Since this is about hypnotic fantasy, I'd like you to begin by imagining the fantasy of being hypnotized. You're lying back on a very soft, comfortable couch, and you see a pocket watch swinging in front of your eyes. You are in the office of a hypnotist you know who has offered to help you learn more about hypnosis and learn to be a very good hypnotic subject, so that you can experience some of the more unusual and interesting hypnotic phenomena you've been curious about. You run your fingers along the rich leather upholstery of the couch and smell the comforting cloth and leather and wood and paper of the quiet office around you as you settle down deeper into the couch and begin to think about what it felt like the last time you were in a trance, and what it will feel like to go even deeper this time. As you look at the watch in front of you, you know that in a few moments your eyes will become heavy, droopy, drowsy, drifting down until they close completely, even more quickly this time, as you drift off into deep hypnosis. You think about trying to open them again, and find that you just can't manage to budge them at all. And as you stop trying, you find that all of your attention wraps around the words of the hypnotist as you go deeper. You open your eyes, sit up a little, and look at the watch to signal to the hypnotist that you are ready to be hypnotized. Now. You focus your eyes on the watch, and you hear the hypnotist's voice telling you to listen. Take a deep breath and relax. Good. You remember how much you enjoy being hypnotized, and as you listen, take a deep breath and relax. You can just settle comfortably back into a deep trance now. Deep, deep trance now, and deeper every time you listen. Take a deep breath and relax. Feel a wave of relaxation washing over your whole body now, as you sink a little deeper into that soft, soft couch, and it pulls your eyelids down with it, and they become heavier with every deep, deep breath. While you listen, take a deep breath and relax. Very good. You are here to practice some important hypnotic skills, the skills of responding to hypnotic suggestion. Over time, you will naturally find yourself responding more and more easily and effortlessly to all hypnotic suggestions, and this practice will help you achieve your hypnotic goals even more quickly. One way to respond to a hypnotic suggestion is to find your own reasons for doing the thing suggested, and do it because of those. This is the most powerful and versatile way to respond, and I encourage you to do it whenever possible. When something is suggested to you in a hypnotic trance, as something you should do or think, or something you might do or think of all the good reasons you have for doing it or thinking it. Find the reasons that seem the most compelling to you. It doesn't matter why those reasons motivate you, just that they make you want to do it the most. Decide right then and there to do what was suggested to you based on those reasons, and to remember those reasons as why you decided to do it. Even if you forget the trance or the suggestion, you'll remember your decision and your reasons and feel good about your decision, because that's what's important. Visualize yourself doing the thing, or perhaps thinking the thought, and feel good about your reasons while you do it. If the suggestion was too general or too far in the future for you to come up with a specific reason right now, just remember that you have a good reason, and the details will come to you when you do it. Practice this now by thinking about the excellent reasons you have for using this method of responding to hypnotic suggestions in the future. Good. Although remembering your own reasons is an effective, subtle, and powerful way to respond to hypnotic suggestions, many people enjoy having the experience of feeling hypnotically compelled. There are a lot of different ways to have this experience, and you can practice different ones and find the one that feels most right for you. Or perhaps use all of them at different times or together. However you choose to feel compelled to respond, you will find it very easy to keep the suggestion in mind as something you need to do. That feeling you get when you might have left something turned on at home, or you're packing for a trip and trying to keep all of the things you need to bring in your head, remembering to grab them when you see them. You remember you meant to do it, and it's such a relief to notice when you can follow the suggestion and resolve that mental note in your head. Even when you forget a suggestion, your subconscious mind is keeping track of it and will enjoy the pleasure of following it at last. One way of being hypnotically compelled is to concentrate on that sensation, that itch, that nagging feeling that there's something you need to do. Even if you remember the suggestion and are consciously trying to resist, it just inescapably seems more and more like something you are supposed to do, something you need to take care of. Like needing to pee, you'll keep being reminded every time anything makes you think of the suggestion. Trying not to think of the suggestion makes you think of the suggestion, and how it seems more important and compelling every time you think of it, until you do it. And after you do it, even if you were trying to resist, you can feel a definite pleasure in your excellent success at responding to hypnotic suggestion, and feel good about how well you've learned this skill. Another way to experience being hypnotically compelled by a suggestion is to do it without thinking. When you have something in the back of your mind for a long time, even if it's something you were trying not to do, it's such a relief to see the chance to do it that sometimes your subconscious will take over and you'll find you've done it without meaning to, without noticing, as soon as you got the chance to do it. When you notice the chance to respond to the suggestion, you'll immediately think about starting to do it. And sometimes you'll be distracted for a moment and you'll go ahead and do it while you're distracted, because you remember that you are going to. And then you can feel good about having responded to the suggestion, and enjoy that pleasure even more when you consciously notice that you did it without thinking. And you can listen, take a deep breath, and relax, and enjoy looking forward to that experience now. Good. Another way to be hypnotically compelled is not to be the one following the suggestion. A lot of hypnotic subjects have the experience of watching themselves obeying hypnotic commands, as if from a distance, as if their subconscious mind or their body was responding to the commands all on its own. Now, as you listen, take a deep breath and relax. You can sink even further into a deep trance now, deep, deep trance now. And imagine the experience of watching yourself respond to suggestions. It's easy to imagine your subconscious mind following suggestions with no effort from your conscious mind, and you can look forward to enjoying that pleasurable experience now. Good. Now, as you listen, take a deep breath and relax even further. It's time to practice these skills. Here is something you need to do. From now on, whenever I tell you, here is something you need to do, you will find a way to feel compelled to do the next thing I tell you. Every time you hear my voice say, here is something you need to do, you will be ready to feel compelled to do the next thing I tell you. And here is something you need to do. In a moment, when you wake up from this trance, your hands and fingers will remain deeply hypnotized, limp, loose, and relaxed. For 5 minutes, when you wake up from this trance, your hands and fingers will be too drowsy, loose, and floppy to use. And no matter how hard you try to move your hands or fingers, they will be just too relaxed and limp to use. Even if you forget that I told you this, your subconscious mind will know when it is time for your hands and fingers to wake all the way up, and then you will feel pleasure in your success at following this suggestion. And here is something you need to do. In a few moments, after you are awake from this trance, and after your hands awake from this trance, you will write something for me about your experience with this trance and these suggestions. Very good. Now, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and when I reach the number 5, you will be wide awake and feeling refreshed and wonderful. Beginning now. 1, coming up, starting to stir and twitch. 2, moving your body a little bit and starting to notice the sounds around you. 3, beginning to yawn and stretch. 4, almost all the way awake, starting to open your eyes. And 5, wide awake.